Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. For those of you guys who don't know, my name is Marissa. I am newer to the AuthorTube channel and I am just here trying to show you guys how I write my debut novel as well as being a full-time worker and also a volunteer at my church. I am currently writing my very first fantasy novel and I am with the hopes of publishing in 2026, hopefully, if I get everything together. So today the video is not gonna be that long. I think I just wanted to do like a recap for you guys for how January went for me, just because I've set goals for myself because I am really thriving to publish early 2026. That's what I would hope to publish, early 2026. And even if not early 2026, maybe like mid. Point is, the main goal is to publish in 2026. So I wanted to come and do like maybe like monthly recaps to just show you guys how I'm doing, and then and just seeing if I'm keeping up with my goals that I set for myself per month. I think honestly January went pretty well for me. I think even though I had a lot of off days, like there was a lot of days where I knew I didn't write, or if I did write, I wasn't as productive or I forgot to log those. But yeah. So a little disclaimer, I think I said this in another video. I live on a busy street and I don't have microphones for this yet, so you guys will be picking up a lot of noise in the background because it's raining outside and the street is wet, so all the cars going by, and I live on a pretty busy street, so I apologize for that. Just a little disclaimer that I have for you guys. So like I said, I just wanted to give you guys like an update of how everything is going. So January, I started writing chapter 18. No, December I started writing chapter 18, but January I finished chapter 18. My goal was to hit chapter 23 in my first draft because chapter 23 is one book ahead. Yeah, chapter 23 is one book ahead of, or one chapter ahead of this draft right now. So my goal was to get to that chapter, which I did, which I'm happy for. And so I did hit my goal. I finished it actually last night on January 30th, and I was able to, you know, change up some stuff, and I feel like it works a lot better now. Another goal that I had for myself was I wanted to hit 70,000 words this month. I set that goal to be on the 18th, and I believe I hit that goal. Let me look. I have my Notion up. I hit that goal on the 15th of January. So, yay, I hit my goal. I am a numbers girl. Well, not really, but like when it comes to my writing, I'm a numbers girl. So I write based off of my word count. Granted, I know like I'm gonna either, like my end goal, I want to be around 125,000 words. First draft was 120,000 plus some, and so like that's my range for this book because I do want it to be a little bit longer because there's just a lot that happens in the first book. There's also a lot that happens in the next book as well, but so I do rely heavily on my monthly word count, not my monthly word count, but my daily word count, because it helps move the story along. I write not pretty long chapters. I try not to, but I know I can go ahead and edit it and make it a little bit shorter. But I do write, some of my chapters are a little bit longer. So I think I said in another video, I calculated the average word count that I usually write, which is like 800, between 700 and 800 words. So my daily word count goal is 800 words. This month, I think I averaged 1,200 words on the days that I did have really good writing days, and then my minimum was around 250 words. So there's a big gap. But you know, there are some days where I'm just like in the zone, and my brain is just going, and I'm like, okay, this works, I'm changing this, I'm changing that. And then there are other days when I know I have like a really long day ahead of me. I'm at work, then I go to church, and then, you know, I'm home and all this stuff. So I don't really have that much time when I come home to really do anything. So those are the days where I kind of struggle with my writing. I do at least put something down, but it's not like, you know, I'm not hitting the goal. And those are the days, unfortunately, I always forget to log on Notion, and I have to get better with logging everything. I don't know why I don't know what it is. So yes, I did hit my goal. So my starting word count for January was 62,794 words. What I'm ending with today on January 31st, and granted, it is the last day of the month, and and I'm not counting what I wrote today. So I know that doesn't make any sense, but I'm not counting what's being written today. But my final word count, so my end word count for January is 78,160 words that I ended the month with. I think that's pretty good. Like, I hit my goal, and then, you know, I'm about 12,000 words away from hitting my goal for February. And so I'm happy, and it's getting me excited because I know I'm that much closer to finishing my draft. So yes, so in total, the words that I've written this month was 15,366 words, which is, again, good, because there's been months where I've barely written anything, and I think I wrote maybe a total of 1,000 words. There's been other months where I've written like 20,000 words. I'm not, you know, to the point where people can write like 50K. I think this will probably be my average, between 10 and like 15,000 words per month, and it all depends on how the month is going, because, you know, things happen, people get sick, you know, work, we had a couple work events and stuff like that rendered me. There was some things, and also I was reading a lot more, so a lot of things can really like affect you in your writing. So just being able to work around that and still hit your goal is like pretty good. Okay, and then so also I set a goal for myself to read one book a month, minimum one book a month. So I read 2 books this month. So I am challenging myself to read one book a month because I want to read more, and sometimes I get into the habit where I don't want to read at all, but then also there are other times where I just love reading. So that also was like a point in January where there were days where I wasn't writing, but it was because I was reading, and me reading was actually kind of like the reason, like how I got Project Cursed in my mind. So I'm gonna show you guys the books that I read. So I read The Ashes and the Star-Cursed King. I started this in December, but then I finished it in January. Loved it, but let me tell you which one I loved more. But The Songbird and the Heart of Stone by Carissa Broadbent. I love this book, and I am so mad that I have to wait until August to read the second part. And had I known before I was reading this book that I was gonna have to wait until August to read part 2, I would have waited to read this. But I was so eager because the main character, I love her character throughout the series, so I was really, really excited to read it. So now I have to wait until August, and now I have to preoccupy my time with these things, so with other things to read until then. And there's a couple other books that are coming out this year too that I also want to read. But these were the books that I read for January. So I am ahead of my January goal when it comes to reading books. This was good. This is part 2 of The Serpent and the King of Night or something like that. I can't remember the title, but this is book 2. This is still part of the same series, but it's like a spin-off. It's like based off of 2 separate characters, but it's all in the same world, and they're gonna come back. And I recommend this one so much. Oh my god, it was so good. It was so good. And this is the one that made me want to do what is it, an adventure story. Oh, but it's so good. Okay, enough of that. So for February, I am gonna start reading Light Lark. I've been hearing so much about it, so I am gonna start this, and then after that I'm gonna be reading Children of Blood and Bone again, and then I'm gonna read the following book in this series. I've read this before, and I read the second book. I just haven't read the third one, so this is just me gonna be catching up to it, and so we'll see. I started reading this, but I've been trying to close my I've been trying to finish chapter 23, so I haven't really had time. So I think I'm gonna just dedicate like a couple hours or 2 to read this. Not just this, but like just read per month, per day. It also helps sometimes when I'm at work, if I go to lunch, or if I'm waiting in the car, like waiting to go in and stuff like that, I do read a little bit. It's just to, and then on like Tuesdays and Thursdays when I have like, you know, women's group and youth group, those couple of hours before I go to sleep, it's easier to just read than write, because reading, you just put on your pajamas and get comfortable. Writing, you gotta open your computer, get in the mood, all that stuff. So I think that's what I'm gonna do. Okay, so last thing is my expectations for February. My expectation for February is not that high, just because I don't want to get burnt out. I want to still have that drive to write, that motivation, all that stuff. So I don't want to feel like I'm just forcing it through. You know, I do have that main goal, and my main goal is to publish in 2026. So my expectations are not too high. I don't want to set myself minimum goals, because then if I set myself minimum goals, I'm just gonna shoot for the low. So these goals that I'm setting for myself, I think they're pretty high, because, you know, writing from, my goal is to hit chapter 30. That's 7 chapters I have to write this month in order for me to close that gap. And then like for February to March, or like March, I will have to write like 13 chapters in order for me to close that gap to finish the book, you know. So I am trying to set myself a little bit higher goals, but they're still achievable and realistic goals. So this way I'm motivated, because then if I set lower goals, it's gonna take me forever to just write, and then I'm gonna slack off, and then I'm not gonna do what I'm supposed to do. So yeah, I'm excited for February. I'm real excited because on Valentine's Day, Captain America: Brave New World is coming out. I'm definitely gonna be in the theaters for that, because I love superheroes. I love Marvel. I love Captain America. I love just all of that. So I'm so excited to see that. So I am like gonna set up days, you know. I think it's important to give yourself like some days to rest. And whether you're resting is going for a walk, going to the movies, just some you time, because you're working your brain every single day to pump out something, and it does get tiring and it does get stressful. So I do recommend giving yourself some grace. Like, give yourself some time to rest, to heal. So even reading, like, just give yourself a couple of days, because sometimes you're reading a book and then you go back to looking at your work and you're like, well, my work don't look like their work. But then it's also like, well, they have years and years and years under their belt compared to someone who's just now starting out. So if I can give you guys some advice, take a break whenever you need it. Whether it's an hour, whether it's two days or 2 weeks, take a break. You don't always have to write. You can just take a day or two to get your brain and your mind work back together. Listen to some nice podcasts, watch a murder mystery or something, go throw snowballs at someone if it's snowing, or go play in the water if it's warm or hot outside. Just do things that you find enjoyable, and that'll help you, I don't know how to say it, like, that'll help you create a more I don't know what I'm trying to say, like, interactive environment for yourself. That's probably not the right word, but that's the word we're gonna use at this moment until I figure something out. And that's what I try to do too for myself, is just give myself some occasional breaks. I know I take a lot of breaks, but sometimes I need it, because I think sometimes I suffer with imposter syndrome, and then I just get into these moods where I'm like, I don't want to write because my writing is not that good. And then I always see someone read something that's like completely crazy and doesn't make any sense, and then I'm like, okay, that's a big motivator, because if somebody can publish this and people read it and love it, I can do the same thing, so but that was my little advice for today. But I'm not gonna hold you guys any longer. I'm gonna let you guys go, because it's 2:28 today right now, and I do want to go and write myself and do some work. I'm watching Arcane, and I really it's so good. So yes, that's my goal and my plans for February. That was the achievements that I did for January. I do hope you guys like this video. If you are again newer to this channel, please go back and watch my other videos, meet my story, meet me, and just watch my little writing process and see how I go about writing with working a little full-time job. Again, thank you all for the wonderful support I've been seeing. I really appreciate it, and I just hope you guys have a great day. So I'll see you guys next time. Bye.